Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rucha Kudash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Spectators. And pretty much this comes, I was, when I laid down last night, I went to sleep. A couple hours later, I woke up and that thought was in my mind. I believe the word was spectator or something like that. I can't remember the name or the word that came to mind. Think it was spectators. I'm not sure. But a series of scriptures came to mind, and I was going to write them down, but I was a little tired. So kind of went right back to sleep. And then I woke up a few hours later after that, and the word was still in my mind and the scripture was still in my mind. Then when I woke up this morning, I couldn't remember the word, but I remembered the scriptures. So I figured, spectator was the closest I could, remember that the word was. And what is a spectator? A spectator is a person who watches at a show, game, or other event. In this case, we'll use other event, dealing with the truth. At One West, we had a term called, these, I forget exactly how the apostles put it, but it was like pretty much these Israelite cheerleaders. Because when you go back into the history of King David and King Saul, there was a point where King David was, who was a mighty man. He was a young man, and he was slaying many, Philistines and, enemies of Israel back then. And the women, they were singing and cheering, Saul killed his thousands and David his 10,000s. So that's where the term cheerleader comes from. That's where the cheerleaders come from. And pretty much that's the title that was used at One West. I'm not sure who came up with the title, but it was used at One West, to describe an Israelite, whether it's man or woman, especially men, because men are the ones, the flock of the Most High's pasture of men, that sits on the sidelines cheering on, but they won't get involved. And see, they think that just by doing that they're going to, be delivered. Now, you do have the great cloud of witnesses. You do have Israelites in prominent positions that are wealthy, that do support, and that would be their way of putting in work, because they're not prophets, they're not teachers, they don't go out there and speak. They learn, they may say a few words to people here and there, but their office, so to speak, is just to be helps, because a lot of times, you had brothers in the truth that were not built to be teachers, but they, the Spirit blessed them, or they had a certain amount of money and they were able to help, with that. So you can't expect a man that's just a help that, provides financial, help to the ministry to be a teacher, because not everyone is a teacher. You can't make yourself a prophet. You can't make yourself a teacher. You either are or you're not, but you have a lot of individuals out there that have the ability to teach, but they're just spectators. They're just watching this thing for entertainment on the sidelines, seeing, what the next, gossip column is going to say about the Israelites, so that they can go out there and on social media and blab and, gossip about it. Oh, did you see this? The latest of Captain Tazariak and Vocab? And did you see, when he went against this and this guy and, and the Genesis and the Sakari and the this and the that, Spectators, cheerleaders watching on the sideline, but ain't doing a goddamn thing for the truth. You ain't supporting it. All you're doing is watching on the sidelines, talking shit. You ain't giving any, you ain't doing videos, you ain't on the streets teaching, you ain't giving any monetary support. You're not doing anything for the truth except for just watching on the sidelines talking shit. And it kills me the um the amount of you Israelite men, mostly men, you have women too, that are just fucking experts at what the truth should be. A couple of years ago, you didn't know your ass from a hole in the ground. Now all of a sudden, you're this great master teacher, and you're gonna tell everybody how it's done. Yet you don't have any works, you don't have any examples, of what it is to do the work or how to edify. But you're gonna correct everybody else on how it should be done or shouldn't be done. You, my man, are nothing but a spectator, and the Lord is going to destroy you. All of you that are like that, you window shoppers that just can't make up your mind or know who to follow. You individuals that's on the fence. You don't want to commit to the Lord. You ain't doing shit. You have the ability to teach, but you ain't teaching. You ain't doing nothing but sitting on the sidelines cheering or talking shit. The Lord is going to destroy every last one of you. Because the Lord is not looking for spectators. He ain't looking for cheerleaders. He's looking for his men to do the work. Matter of fact, this is the second time it came around. Let's get it. Shalaka. 3 precepts. Let me see if I can remember all 3 of them. Nope, that's not it. Just bear with me a second. It was in my mind. But is it in your mind? It was in my mind, and it kind of. Yep, that's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. Beautiful. Okay, so the first one is Ezekiel 34:31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men. So the flock of the Lord's pasture are men. And I am your power, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem El-Shai. And he gave us, commandments on what to do. And one of the commandments is to go out to the highways, the hedges, and teach the word. We used to say the highways and the byways, and the scriptures don't say it like that. And then, you have these clowns that are going, show me where it says it like that. You know what the fuck it says, But, you have these individuals. Well, it's not revelation. It's not revelations. It's revelation. Yeah. Though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. But is the information correct? See, they can't contend with the information. They got to contend with technical terms or technicalities or how you pronounce something. Anyways, let's go to the next precept. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. Man. So you Israelite men out there that hear this word, that understand it, that are teachers, you're supposed to be what? Out there on the streets teaching his word. You're supposed to be making videos on the regular. You ain't supposed to just be sitting on the sidelines cheering on, spectating. This is not a spectator sport. The only ones that should be spectating are these women. The cheerleaders should be the women on the sidelines. You had one time cheerleaders were just women. Now you got fucking men cheerleaders. Show you how degenerate Babylon the Great is. So you men out there that have the ability to teach, you should be out there teaching, doing edifying videos, not talking shit on the sidelines, telling everybody else what to do, but you ain't got no examples. That's a straight up hypocrite. Nah, brother, don't mean that. Don't mean, but you go to your page, let's say somebody's convinced of what you're saying, they go to your page and there's no content there for them to be either further so-called edified or led down a dark hole with your ass. You Israelites, you crack me up. You would never approach the so-called white man like that. You would never approach the so-called white man and tell them that they're wrong and what they're teaching. You would never interrupt any of their classes in the seminary schools or colleges or whatever the case may be. But because it's your own people that look like you feel emboldened just to talk shit, which you would never do to the so-called white man. Can't wait for the Most High to fuck you motherfucker up, man. Ooh! There'll be a glorious day when the Lord finally starts opening up on you motherfuckers, man. Revelation 21:3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men. That's why the Lord said to keep our temples clean, holy, so that these vessels could be used to push the word. Because the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Shai, through the Holy Spirit, channels, you hear Elder Apostle Gabar speak about that all the time, channels that energy, the word, the message, through our bodies, through our minds. And then the mouth is what gives the speech. With the heart man believeth, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. Right, that's when the kingdom of heaven is established. And right now we're going through the process of, the road to get to the kingdom. All right. So the first precept I have, which, basic, fundamental building block scriptures, Ezekiel 33:30. Also, thou son of man. So if you're a spectator, if you're a cheerleader on the sideline, you men, you ain't going to make it. Now, if you happen to be someone that contributes to the ministry in whatever capacity the Lord gave you, then if that's your lot, that's your lot. But you guys that's on the sideline talking shit or watching for entertainment, and there's a lot of you out there like that, and I thank the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Shai, we don't get that many views, because that means that more of the people that are watching are more serious minded. That's why we don't get that many views. We don't get them 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 views, because the majority of those people are full of shit. But now them other Israelite groups that are all about gimmicks, they're the ones that get that, and beautiful. Y'all can have that. The Lord is looking for his elect, not for a bunch of spectators. We're not in this thing to gather the most, amount of viewers so that they can send all their money in. The Lord is going to give us enough to where we can be sustained. We're not looking for, or should I say, the Lord is not looking for quantity. He's looking for quality. He's looking for his elect. It says, also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses. See? And that's what they do. Oh, I wonder what they're going to say now. Oh, man, did you see that? This brother, he came up against this dude. He made that video. I wonder what the clapback is going to be like. I wonder what they're going to say. Are they going to be silent on this one? Did they finally get him? Or is he going to say something to rebuttal that? I can't wait to. Oh, man, see, they put up a premiere. Oh, damn, got to wait 2 days for that premiere to air. Shit, and they're anxiously waiting. Okay, good. I get my check, so I can go give me some popcorn or some hot Cheetos or some Mountain Dew hot dogs, and then I'll have all that ready on the barbecue. So when the show comes on, then I'll be ready. The Most High is gonna kill motherfuckers like you, man. Unbeknownst to your stupid ass. So if you're in that spirit, you better pray to get out of that spirit. You better be sincere in your endeavors in this truth, and hope that the Lord will have mercy on you, just like we hope the Lord will have mercy on us. It says, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. And what them Israelites gonna say now? You got this pastor and that pastor, And this apologist coming up against and saying this, that, and the other. I wonder what they're going to say. Wonder what the one Westers are going to say. Spectating. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people. Right. Yeah, Shalom, Shalom, brothers. That's right. Uh-huh. I remember years ago on 44th Street, not the island. We used to speak on the island, and sometimes we would speak on that corner. The apostles and the bishops know what I'm talking about. And some of them other Israelites that go back to One West, they know what I'm talking about too. And there was a corner across, or like diagonally from where the island was at, where we used to speak at, and then there was like a indentation of the building, and then people, the crowd would come there, to watch, the different elders, back then speakers. And one time I was speaking, and I was looking at the crowd, and I was pretty much more so gearing it to the men. I said, you brothers got to get involved in this too. You can't just be sitting on the sideline. Something, I forget exactly what I said, but you could see they was like, oh my goodness, when this guy gonna come down, And then you would have individuals that will just come out there. I'm out here just for Yeshaya, I'm just waiting for Yeshaya to come out here, because they were what? Spectators, cheerleaders. This was like their weekly. Back then, used to go out. Used to go out more than once a week, but the Saturdays was like the big thing. So it was like their weekly dose, of entertainment. And then the biggest entertainer at the time was, High Priest Yeshaya, as his title was back then. And everybody wanted him to speak because he would make them laugh. And the first class I ever went to, when I first went to the school back in January of '93, was Yeshaya's class, which was a Friday night. I took the train, got off 125th Street, walked up 2 blocks, went upstairs, sat down, and he was teaching. And he'd be funny, make the truth, fun to listen to. But after a while, I said, man, I need more than just jokes. Now he used to go into scriptures, but like Elder Pastor mentioned, that when they were there, like him, High Priest Ariah, and others, then the classes would be more deep. Not that Yeshaya didn't know the scriptures, he knew it, but his thing was telling jokes. And after a while, I wanted to learn. I didn't want to just hear jokes. That was cool, but I wanted to learn. But these individuals, that's all they want. They want the jokes. They want the laughter. Yeah, I can't wait for this brother to get up, because I know he be getting down. He be cursing the white man out. So then they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. See? Because they what? Spectators. For with their mouth they show much love. Yeah, shalom. Yeah, that's right. Kwam Yashala. Oh, yeah. Preach. But their heart goeth after their covetousness. Right, because when it's all said and done, what do? They turn around and go back to doing the business that they were doing prior to that. Nothing changes. Let's go to James chapter 1. And I got some precepts, like I said, written down, but I'm just going to jump around to some of them as the Spirit gives me utterance. James 1:22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own self. So if you know it, do it. Because if you're just listening and ain't doing nothing about it, guess what? You're deceiving yourself. NLT. But don't just listen to the Most High's word. You must do what it says. Otherwise, you are only fooling yourself. Because you ain't fooling nobody else. You could play the part, but if you ain't actually involved in doing the work, you're going to have to answer to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Then you have some individuals that'll just do it when they see brothers around. Yep, judgment is coming, like the elder said. You have some individuals that they only do the work when brothers are around. They put on the actor's mask when brothers come around. But when brothers ain't around, they doing whatever the hell they want to do. They ain't really, doing nothing else. They just doing whatever the hell they want to do. You know? But so let me see. The NIV says, don't merely just listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Do or do not. Then it goes on to say, it says, deceiving yourselves, right? It says, for if any man be a hearer of the word, right? You're listening to what's being said and not a doer. You're just listening, but you ain't getting involved. He is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass, right? So you go and you look at your face in the mirror. You see what you look like. And if you hear the word and don't do it, it's like you looking at yourself in the mirror. You find out who you are, but then when you leave that mirror, you don't, you forget what you look like. All of a sudden it's back to doing what you want to do. In your life, you ain't working for the Lord. You just doing whatever the hell you want to do. You making excuses. And that's another thing too. That's a demon, that procrastinating demon. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that, and then by the end of the day, you ain't did shit. That's a goddamn, that's a demon. You're saying what you're gonna do, but you don't do it. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, that's right. When I get home from work, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And then here it is, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock rolls around. You ain't done shit. No, it's not the hearers of the word that's justified, but the doers. I'm gonna come back to this. Let's go. I hate when that does that. Let's go from there to Romans chapter 2. And 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified. So it's not just hearing what needs to be done. It's not just repeating what needs to be done. It's actually doing it. A hearer and a doer are two different things. You hear the word, and if you don't do it, then you just wasting your time. So the ones that are doers, those are the ones that are justified. So going back to James 1:23, for if any man be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. It's like pretty much you're in the world, but then when you come around brothers, that's when you become, this super duper Israelite. That's another thing too. That was another term that the apostles used. Super duper Israelites. They be souped up. They'll look. Everywhere they go, they got on. That their garments, their fringes. They're super duper Israelites. But then when it comes to doing the work, they slacking. And some of them individuals, if there weren't brothers around to kind of jar their spirit, they would just not do the work. You have individuals like that. Let me get real quick. What was that scripture that just came to mind? Oh, Hebrews. This is one of my favorites. Because look, we're in the flesh. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered. And sometimes it gets a little agitating, but this is part of the mission. It's a constant battle between the flesh and the spirit. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. And 24. I love this precept here because of the way it's worded. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. The word consider. Let me see the word consider. Today, sometime today. Uh, kata, noeho. To perceive, remark, observe, understand, to consider attentively, fix one's eyes or mind upon. Right. Consider one another. You know, you see a brother slacking, hey, bro, give him a little tap. Likewise, he may see you slacking a little bit, give you a tap, you know, and that's, you know, considering each other, right? And then the other one is to provoke. Now, this is interesting right here for those of you that have never looked this up. The word there is paroxysmos, right? And that's incitement to good, see? An incitement to good or dispute and anger, contention, provoke unto. Now, there's another, right? It says an incitement, irritation. You know, sometimes you may not realize that you got spirits on you. Things become irritated. You know, this brother, man, well, every time he come around, he want to do the work. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to be. Now, if you always in that spirit, that means you ain't right. But every once in a while, that demon will jump on you, you know, and then you just got to shake that off. And that's where brotherhood comes. Hey, don't that scripture say iron sharpeneth iron? So does a friend the countenance of another friend. So sometimes there's an irritation because you're provoking each other to do the work. But it shouldn't always be like that. You shouldn't always be in that spirit, because if you're always in that spirit, then something ain't right. Because as long as we're in the flesh, it's going to be a battle. But it shouldn't always be like that. It's always a burden to do the work. Because if that's the case, then, you know, then maybe you might not be a part of the elect. So let's read this again, and let's go back to James. Hebrews 10 and 24. It says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. Sometimes you irritate each other to do the work. And guess what? You might be in that spirit. Man, I don't feel like doing this. You know, you're like, oh, you know, irritated and agitated. And then once the lesson gets going and you get in the spirit hits you, man, you be happy as hell that the brother, you know, did that and said that. Let me read this precept that the elder put up. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 11. The words of the wise men are as golds. Right. In other words, a gold is, you have a ox. Ox could be stubborn. You have this thing with the point on it, and then you stick them, and it hurts him, you know, it agitates him, and then he'll keep moving. So the words of the wise are like cattle. Well, this one it says cattle prods. The other one it says goats. It says, and as nails fastened by the master of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. So the NLT says the words of the wise are like cattle prods, painful but helpful. See, their collected sayings are like a nail studded stick with which a shepherd drives the sheep. That's right. And that's sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to smack the sheep into the right direction, because, you know, sheep go astray. That's why the words, you know, words can be sharp. You know, the words of the Lord are sharper than any two-edged sword, cutting asunder, even to the spirit. And that's why when you bring out scriptures like that, or you speak like that, people get irritated, because most people, they just want to come into this thing, you know, to be spectators, to be on the sideline, to be, you know, cheerleaders. Lord ain't looking for no goddamn cheerleaders. Another thing the Lord ain't looking for is bench warmers. The Lord don't need no motherfucking bench warmers. Let's see what bench warmer is. Bench warmer definition. Bench warmer, a sports player who does not get selected to play, a substitute. You just sitting on a seat, just keeping it warm. The Lord ain't looking for guys like that. He ain't looking for bench warmers. He ain't looking for hot bodies or warm bodies to fill in. He ain't looking for no fillers. He's looking for his men to go out there to teach the word. This thing ain't about just having. That's why the scriptures speak. Yahweh said it best. He said, "If thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out. For it is better to thee to enter into the kingdom halt and maimed than with both eyes, and cast into hellfire or to destruction." Here it is. You might have an individual that may be cool, or he might have been in the truth with you for so many years or whatever, and then he starts bugging out, and you try to, provoke him and and work with him and try to get him back on the right path, because you know that if you can convert that man back to the right way, you save him from destruction, and then you are forgiven a bunch of sins that you wouldn't have been able to be forgiven for. Or should I say that that you blot out a lot of sins that the Lord may have been stacking up on you. But after a while, if you're trying to work with this individual and he just ain't getting it, and you're being stressed out about it, and you're lacking because you're trying to help him, you got to cut that individual off. You got to know when there's a cancer, and you got to cut it out. Because if not, it's going to destroy you, and it's going to destroy him, and it could possibly destroy other men that may be, within that circle. So you have to consider that. You have to always consider the flock. Is this going to be detrimental to the flock? And if it is, well, this got to be cut out. We can't do this because this is going to affect the flock. This brother is cool. We've been in this thing for a number of years. We built up a relationship. We built up a rapport, but then he's just not into it anymore. So he got to go. You just got to cut him out. Just got to let him go. And it's at that point when he gets let go, for him, if he's just that way, he's going to continue to be that way and be destroyed. But if not, if he has a change of heart, then he's going to have to go out there and do the work out his own salvation with fear and trembling. Bottom line, this ain't a buddy system. This ain't a thing of, we're just friends and nah. There's no favoritism in this thing. There's none of that. This is about truth. This is about the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahushai said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. And if you don't have that mindset, then maybe you may not be part of the elect. All right. So let's go back to, we finish. Okay, Hebrews 4:12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. All right. And that's why it's irritation to some individuals. Because, here it is, they know they ain't doing the right thing. They just want to be entertained. And when you do lessons like that, like this, and, the bringing out the lukewarm scriptures and the falling out and the slackers and the slothful, they get irritated. Because, you ain't doing something right. Pray to the Lord, take them spirits off you so you can be right on the right path. Remember King David, the beloved of the Most High, asked the Lord not to take his Holy Spirit from him. So going back to Ezekiel chapter 30 and verse 32, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice. Right. They love to hear it, but they won't get involved. They won't do. Why? Because they're just spectators, cheerleaders, and can play well on an instrument. Right. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. That's why it says not the hearers of the word, but the doers are the ones that are justified. See? Let me see something. Let me see let's put in cheer leader. I just curious. Cheerleader synonyms. Encourager, supporter, admirer, promoter. They should have over here spectator. All right, so let's go on. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, meaning everything that has been spoken. Because, when these cheerleaders, these spectators, these individuals that are looking for entertainment are going to get right or want to get right when they see everything coming to pass. when they see the prophecies popping off the pages and they see everything that the Spirit has had us say being fulfilled, then they're going to want to get right. And it's going to be too late for a lot of them. Hosea chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense. See, the first part of repentance is acknowledging of our offenses. Then the second part is what? Asking for forgiveness and seek my face in their affliction. They will seek me early. So as long as Jake is doing good, they're not going to seek the Lord. And these individuals that we're talking about, that are slacking, that are BSing, no matter how many times you talk about, it's like you have some individuals that, you've had this in the past too, back in One West. The whole camp will bring this one individual to a council, but yet he don't think there's anything wrong with him. I mean, you could understand, we all have, a different. Everybody has a different spirit. Every brother don't get along with every brother, and that's understandable. You might be in a camp where you just two brothers or a couple of brothers may not really vibe like that. That's natural. But when everybody got a problem with you, there's a problem. But you have those individuals that'll try to justify themselves. Everybody got a problem with them, but then they'll try to justify themselves. That's when you really need to do some real deep soul searching. Because if one individual or two individuals, got issues with you, that's understandable. But when the whole camp got a problem with you, there's something wrong with you, my man. You just ain't seeing it or don't want to see it. Anyways, let's go from there to Isaiah chapter 55. These are oldie but goodies, basic building block fundamental scriptures. Isaiah 55 and 6, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, implying what? That there's going to come a time when the Lord Yahweh B'Shem El Shai will not be found. The Lord is going to close those doors of mercy. And if you see now, especially you brothers that came in here back in 07, 08, 09, 2010, 2011, from back then to now, the way of truth back then was more open. There weren't as many, what's the word I'm looking for? There weren't as many stumbling blocks as there are now. Back then it was like you when you got into it, you were more sure. People weren't so much saying that they were confused about the doctrine because pretty much for the most part we were all teaching the same thing. But now the closer we get to the end, here it is. What is it? Going. What is this? 07 to 2027 would be 20 years. So you talk about roughly around 17 years or so of truth being on just on YouTube alone. And now you have so many stumbling blocks that every time you have these so-called debates and these so-called, these Israelites that, bringing out this and bringing out that, you have a lot of people saying, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. And what is that? That's the Lord causing these stumbling blocks. Why? Because the doors of mercy are closing more and more every day. And that's part of what Yahweh Shai said, narrow and straight shall be the way to life. And there be very few that find it. So this is a beautiful thing. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near, because he's going to withdraw himself. And when he withdraws himself, those of you that had the opportunity that didn't take heed, you're going to be destroyed. You're not going to be able to get to the access of the knowledge that you need in order to be stable in the times that are coming. And we've been saying this over and over and over and over and over again for years and years and years and years, and Jake's still the same shit. And we've been cursing out spectators and cheerleaders for the longest, and it's the same shit. You still have those that are on the sidelines, watching for entertainment, cheerleading, talking shit. Then you have the scoffers and the scorners talking all kind of shit. But then wait till that fire starts hitting them. And they come to that realization that, oh shit, we're in trouble now, Jack. Then they're going to want to get right. But for a lot of them, it's going to be too late. Ezekiel 33:33, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them. Right. And now, even individuals back then that were looking at us bugged out because, you had a lot of false witnesses out there telling lies on us, calling us all kind of names, bums and everything under the sun. They're coming to the realization now. I was like, damn, these GMS individuals were right all along. Because the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is guiding us. And we're just trying to share something with you, but because you wanted to go with the crowd, you listened to what them individuals said. Because when we get on a different group of Israelites, we're not getting on them bearing false witness or gossiping about them. We're getting on them about a breakdown that they're breaking down that's wrong. It's all about the doctrine with us. When we speak about a group and we're against a particular group, we're not against them personally, we're against them doctrinally. See? And that's what they get mad at. But when they come against us, for the most part, they come against us, bearing false witness, telling lies on us, calling us all different types of names, trying to attack our person, they're trying to attack our integrity. But that's okay because they did it to Yahushua. So we're in good hands. So let's go from there to the book of Matthew, chapter 11 and verse 16. This is another one I like. It says, but whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows. So we are the ones that are in the markets calling unto our fellow Israelites out here and saying, we have piped unto you, because we're playing the instrument, we're blowing the trumpet, and you have not danced, and you ain't getting involved, you ain't dancing, you're just being a spectator. And there's going to be, when the time comes of the end, there's going to be no excuse, because this word is being taught throughout the four corners of the earth. Yahushua said, when this gospel is taught throughout the four corners of the earth, then shall the end come. And that's how we know that these false philosophies out there, like Christianity or anti-Christianity, the Roman Catholic Church, Islam, and all these major religions are not the truth, because they've been around for thousands, hundreds of years, we'll put it. Let's say hundreds of years, and the end still ain't come. So that's how you know that that's not the truth. That's how you know that's not the gospel. Here it is, within a matter of roughly around 17 years, this truth of the Hebrew Israelites has been going global. And there's still people that are hearing and listening and finding out about it. And the closer we get, the more the word goes out, and the more that the things that we've been speaking about are coming to pass. And now you got just your regular average Joe trying to go into prophecy, trying to bring out things out of the book of Revelation. Never any Roman Catholic Church, anti-Christian church, none of them have ever been able to go into the book of Revelation and break it down. Except for, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the ones they call the One Westers. So the word is out. The prophecies are speaking. So let's go from there. Also, let me finish this out. And saying, we have piped unto you and you have not danced. We have mourned unto you and you have not lamented. Right? You're not getting yourself together. You're not preparing to meet the bridegroom. You're just talking shit. So let's go from there to the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 13. Just go straight to the point. It says, wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, see, and with their lips do honor me, you know, and you have individuals, yeah, shalom, but have removed their heart far from me, right? Because once the video is over, or once the camp is over, they go about their business. They go back to their worldly life, and the only time they put on their Israelite cap, so to speak, is when a video is on or when they're out, you know, at the camp. The rest of the time, they're just, you know, regular Negroes or Latinos or Native American Indians in the world. And their fear towards me is taught by the precept of men. Anything that man says, they accept it. But when it comes from the Lord, nope, they don't want to accept that. That's why you have individuals out there that if their leaders don't break it down and say it's this, that, or other, they won't believe it. They won't search things out on their own. They won't look things up. They just, whatever the leader says, they just accept it. And that's why we call them individuals at the IUIC a bunch of zombies. So let's go from there to Isaiah, the next chapter, chapter 30. And we're going to start at verse 8. It says, now go write it before them in a table and note it in the book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. Right? And that's why the Lord wrote these things down in the scriptures before they happen, before they come to pass. Because when all this comes to pass, and it will, then they're going to know that, you know, the Lord spoke about it. The prophets have been around, been telling them that this is going to go down. This is what's going to happen. And they're going to have no excuse. It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Shai. So they're not listening to what's being said. Even though the signs are evident, but they can't see them because it's blocked from them. Which say to the seers, which are the prophets, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, because they don't want to know what the right things are. They don't want to know about the end of the world. They, you know, like I was scrolling through YouTube, and I saw a particular group, I ain't gonna mention no names, talking about, you know, relationship advice. It's like, what the fuck? Here it is. You got, right now, as we speak, there's a whole bunch of videos and information on Israel attacking Iran in retaliation. And these guys are talking about some goddamn relationship advice. First of all, no one knows a way between a man and his maid. That's none of your motherfucking business, you know, the relationship that a man and a woman has. But that's the best you could come with? You know, relationship advice? All this shit that's going on in the world, you're going to talk about some goddamn relationship advice. Come on, man. Get with the program. Stop being a goddamn simp. That's none of your fucking business what goes on between. That's Esau shit. Well, you know, you're going to have to give her some time and, you know, and find out what her interests are. And, you know, when you find out what her interests are, you know, then you can compromise. And, you know, and then that way you can come to some kind of conclusion, you know, and then you can meet somewhere in the middle. Fuck out of here, man. Fucking relationship advice. That's none of your motherfucking business what a man and his woman do. And that's why there's so much goddamn adultery. Then the woman starts inclining, damn, this brother, he got some good words, you know? And then she get mad at her husband, and then she'll go with the dude that's giving her advice, and he'll gonna give her some advice, all right. It says, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. And this is what Jake loves to hear. They love to hear lies. They don't like to hear the truth. The truth is too strong for them. They can't handle the truth. It says, get you out of the way, right? Because they don't want to hear about the destruction. They don't want to hear about the, Jacob's trouble. But now all of a sudden, people are starting to talk about these hardships that are coming. When we were talking about it, they mocked us and ridiculed us. But now they're, well, yeah, Jacob's trouble and this and that, the other. And hey, man, that's so true. Elder Apostle Gabar always says, this is a thankless job. Here it is. We've been saying this, that what's going on right now, we've been saying it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai for years, even before the YouTube era. Now things are happening, and these individuals that were mocking us in the past are talking about it, and people are attentive to them. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it makes you kind of mad, but then again, it doesn't. Because at the end of the day, although no one out there recognizes it, the Lord recognizes it. He knows what's up. He has it, recorded. So we got nothing to worry about. It's in our spiritual bank account. It says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Because one thing about Jake is Jake loves for the Most High to work around their schedule. That's why they'll join the camp based off of if that camp caters to their lifestyle. And that's why a lot of individuals are going to the IUIC, because they got that family-friendly, worldly vibe about them. And people like that. But the ones that are gloom and doom and the destruction is coming and, this is going down, that's going down, this is going to happen, the MOTB and the micro C-HIP and, things that deal with real serious issues, they don't want to hear that because it's too much for them. But it's the truth. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Because when all this shit goes down, what are you going to do? Who are you going to run to? Inside joke. But what are you going to do when all this hell goes down? Because you don't want to hear the calamities that are coming. What are you going to do when they do come? Because they are coming. What are you going to do? You're going to wish them away? You're going to just numb your mind and just act like shit ain't happening? Like in the movie The Day After, the bombs are hitting and the husband is telling the wife, look, we got to go down to the cellar. Come on. And she's just trying to make the bed. She's cleaning up the house, going around in business as usual. She ain't feeling, she's blocking out all of that bad shit that's going on and continues to do her daily life shit, thinking that that's going to make all that bad shit go away. It ain't. So even if you wish it away, it's still going to happen. It's still going to come to pass. Let's go from there to Isaiah 58 and 2. It says, yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways. As a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their power, they ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to the Most High. But when it comes to doing, they don't do. So let's go from there to same book, Isaiah. A lot of nuggets in Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 48. I'm going to read a couple of verses in here. Start at 1. Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Lord Yahweh by Shemel Shai, and make mention of the power of Israel, but not in truth nor in righteousness. Right? Because their whole thing is about being told those sweet little lies. Let's go to Jeremiah real quick. 5. This is on the list too. But let's go to that now. That's why it says, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Jeremiah 5 and 30. A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. And what will you do in the end thereof? Wow, that's heavy. Just saying that. What will you do in the end thereof? What are you gonna do? Inside joke. What you gonna do when all hell breaks loose? And the thing that you didn't want to come comes. Let me see something. I know it's in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs 10:24. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. Yeah. So what are you going to do in the end thereof? When all hell breaks loose and all you've been wanting to do is hear about relationship advice, marriage advice, you're going somewhere to join in a particular group because you could get married or you can get a job, This ain't something just to go somewhere just for the for the camaraderie. This is business. This is a business transaction. When the Lord brings you into this thing, there's a contract. And we have to fulfill that contract. And a part of that contract is for the men to be out there teaching his word, using the Lord's money. Isaiah 48:2, for they call themselves of the holy city and stay themselves upon the power of Israel. The Lord of hosts is his name, Yahweh Bashem El Shai. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth. And we see in them happening right now. But I showed them, I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. And that's why the world is seeing what's going on now. And you have these individuals, now they want to talk about these things. But the men that were speaking about it before there was anything happening, they mocked, ridiculed, but then now they want to talk about the same talking points because they see it actually happening in the world. Amazing. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass, hard-headed mother effers, man. God damn, you are some hard heads. I have even from the beginning declared it to thee. Before it came to pass, I showed it thee, lest thou shouldest say, mine idol hath done them, and my graven image and my molten image hath commanded them. Right? Because that's Jake. You tell them something that they don't know. Oh, yeah, I knew about that all the time. He was a goddamn liar. You ain't know shit until I told you what it was. But that's Jake, a good bullshit artist. It says, thou hast heard, see all this, and will not ye declare it? I have showed thee new things from this time, even hidden things, and thou didst not know them. They are created now and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldest say, behold, I knew them. Oh, I knew all about that. I know all about that, cuz. Inside joke. It says, yea, thou heardest not, yea, thou knewest not. Yea, from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously and was called a transgressor from the womb. That's why you hear the words of the Lord, but you won't do them. So let's go from there to Titus. We're almost done. And if you're tired, then go take a nap. Those of you that watch Elder Apostle Har's videos, and Elder Apostle Gabar too, because he goes long too sometimes, but especially Elder Apostle Har, those videos that Elder Apostle Har does, that was a day at the office back in the days. The classes back then were like 3 hours long. The shortest class back then was 3 hours long. Plus, y'all getting wearied over a little hour here, hour and a half there. The longest video I think he's ever done so far, if I'm not mistaken, is like 2 hours and like 45 minutes or something like that. And that was like a regular class back then. Titus 1:15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their minds and conscience is defiled, and that's why they won't get involved. It says they profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him. See? Why? Because you hear the word, but you won't do it. Being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. So not only are you abominable and disobedient, because what did the Lord say? Let's go real quick to Matthew 22 and 9. This is a parable, but this is a commandment. Parable. Matthew 22 and 9. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage. And a lot of you just want to be spectators on the side. You want to be the bridesmaid, or whatever them women are called that that are just there to fill in. You just want to sit on the sideline holding the flowers, cheering on, but you don't want to do anything. You don't want to help prepare. You don't want to set the table. You don't want to put the plates and the forks and the spoons, and all that stuff on the table, the candlesticks with the candle. You don't want to prepare nothing. You just want to sit on the sidelines and wait till everything is done. Then you want to come and eat. It don't work like that. You got to put in your own work around here, homie. So back at Titus 1 and 16, they profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. Let's go from there to 2 Chronicles. And this is a beautiful precept, man. I love this precept. 2 Chronicles 36. You brothers know where I'm going. Some of you. 2 Chronicles 36 and 15. Or like the English brothers say, 2 Chronicles 36 and 15. Shout out to my brothers from across the lake or across the pond. 2 Chronicles 36:15, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, power of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers. Same thing he's doing right now, rising up betimes or early and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. Even though you're hard-headed, the Lord still having compassion. But they mocked the messengers of the Most High. See, they mocked the messengers of the Most High and despise his words. But now, them same ones that are mocking, now they're acting like they were always teaching what they're teaching. They see the prophecies coming to pass. Cats are scrambling. Yeah, the CBDC. Oh, yeah, digital currency. Oh, yeah. See? If you listen real good, moron, we were teaching about the CBDC and the digital currency. And they might throw a micro C-HIP in there. But see, that's okay. Because the Lord knows. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has it all tallied up. He has records. Hey, matter of fact, let's go to Matthew 12. It's one of Elder Apostle Gabar's favorite scriptures. He used to bring this out damn near every class, every time he spoke, he brought this out. Matthew chapter 12, verse 36. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So the Lord already got it all tallied up. He know what you said. He know what you didn't say. He know what you did. He know what you didn't do. He know how you mocked the messengers of the Most High and ridiculed them. But now you're teaching what they were teaching years ago, because now you're starting to see it. He knows how you kicked us out, of the school at House of David for teaching that Cornelius is an Israelite, and then you turn around and taught that Cornelius is an Israelite, still teach it to this day, and never apologize for that. The Lord sees all of that. He knows all of it. And that's okay. You got cats out there that they don't like to suffer wrong. Everything is, no, I'm justified. Nope. They just want to be justified in everything that they do. They'll never say, you know what, I'll just take the law on this one. Anyways. 2 Chronicles 36:16, but they mocked the messengers of the Most High and despised his words and misused his prophet. Right, they ridiculed, laughed, stoned, sawn asunder, killed the prophets, until the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai rose against his people, till there was no remedy. We're going to read this again, but let's go to Proverbs 29. And the Lord is long suffering. He'll keep warning and 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 warning. And after a while, he just withdraws. Once he withdraws, there's no remedy. Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. It's going to be no remedy. So that's why here in 2 Chronicles 36:16, right, when they mock the messengers, despise the words of the Lord, misuses prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, until the things that the prophet said finally took hold of Jacob. That's the wrath of the Lord, time of Jacob's trouble. Once that Jacob's trouble start biting on your ass, till there was no remedy. All right, you didn't want to hear what I had to say? I'm a Proverbs 124, you on down. The wrath of the Lord comes till there's no remedy. You were given a lifeline. You were given, the help, the herbal remedies to help your situation, but you didn't want it. You kept pushing it away. You kept reaching for the GMOs. You kept reaching for the pharmaceuticals. And guess what? When the time comes and you found smack dab in Jacob's trouble, it's too late. You done threw the lifeline away. The Lord been throwing you a rope all these years, and you kept cutting the rope. Then when it's time for you to use the rope, you done cut the rope. You're gonna grab the rope and say, "Damn, man, can somebody help me?" The rope is already cut. You cut the rope so many times, so there's no more remedy. There's no more recourse of action for you to be able to, be delivered from the situation that you're going to find yourself in. So the last precept I have here is in the book of Luke, chapter 12, and we're going to start at 42. And the Lord said, "Who then is that faithful and wise steward?" Who is a steward? A steward is one that's in charge of a household. Steward goes back to the word oikonomia. Oikonomos, oikos is house in Greek. And onomos or nomos goes into the word management. Oikos, see right there, house, household. Nomos, law, but it also goes into management. How to govern a house. You're given the money to govern a house. You're the steward. You're the one that's in charge of watching over this house. Whatever it needs, whatever the other, servants in their need, you provide it for them in order for them to keep the maintenance up on this house. Because when I come back, it better be immaculate. It better be how I left it. So it says oikonomos, where you get the word economy from, the manager of household or of household affairs, especially a steward, manager, superintendent, whether freeborn or as was usually the case, a freedman or a slave, to whom, and we would be the freedmen or slaves, to whom the head of the house or proprietor, which is Yahushai, has entrusted the management of his affairs, the care of receipts and expenditures. So what is the money given to keep the maintenance of this house? The word. It says, and the duty of dealing out the proper portion to every servant and even to the children not yet of age. All right, so you get the idea. So let's go back. Let's read that again. Who then is a wise and faithful steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler Satan, be gone. And the Lord said, who then is a faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give him their portion of meat in due time. You got cats that want it now. No, I want it now. I want all the fame and the glory and the accolades and the head position, the preeminence. Laud me, praise me, bow down to me. I want it all. The this, the that. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Doing what? The work. Being involved. Not being a spectator. Not being a cheerleader. Not sitting on the sidelines rooting. But being involved in whatever capacity the Lord gave you. Of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. You see? And you have some individuals that don't believe that they're going to get a reward for this. Then the Apostle Peter asked you, how was shy that? Lord, we gave up everything. What we going to get? You that gave up everything, your wife, your children, your house, everything, shall receive 100-fold. But you got some individuals that don't believe that. That's why they're constantly trying to build up, whatever you have here. Because to them, this is it. They're putting all their chips on right now. They're not looking at when the Lord brings a hammer down, brings the time of Jacob's trouble, we're going to be protected. That's part of the investment. And then eventually, once it's all said and done, when Yahushua comes back, Lord's will, we be the elect, he'll deliver us, and then we get the reward. Reward don't come right now. The reward comes in the kingdom. Yahushua hasn't got his yet. Why should we get ours? Once he gets his, then we get ours. It says, and if that servant say in his heart, this is the spectators or the ones that used to do the work and don't do it anymore. That's why Yahushua said when he comes back, matter of fact, let me get that real quick and we'll come back to this. Matthew 7 and 20. 21. It says, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right. Because, and as we read on down, it's going to really, they're going to say, Yahushua, Yahushua. Not everyone that says that is going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. So if you ain't doing the work, you was just a sideline spectator, cheerleader, you ain't going to make it. That's the bottom line. So scoff, talk shit, do what you want. But just know of a surety that you ain't going to make it. Know of a surety the Lord's going to destroy your ass. You ain't fooling nobody but yourself. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Yahushua, Yahushua, we prophesied in your name. And in thy name have cast out devils? Right, because when you out there in the streets or you're doing these lessons and people hear and they turn from Christianity or whatever it is that they're in, you're casting out demons in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua through this word. Yo, we did all these great works, Lord. And in thy name done many wonderful works. But after what? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, however long, you said, I ain't going to do this no more. All that stuff you did in the past don't count. That's why the Apostle Paul said, looking forward at the things which are not seen and leaving behind. Well, not looking at behind us, let me just get it. Can't think of it right now. I used to quote that scripture a lot. Philippians, I believe that's 4 or is it 3? It's 3. Right. 3:13. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, meaning have got the kingdom yet or the victory. But this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, everything you did in the past, and reaching forth unto these things, unto those things which are before. Right? Because that's where it is. You're only as good as your last achievement. You're only as good as the last thing that you've done, the last thing that you've taught. You know, everything back then only counts when we get to the finish line. We get to the finish line, all of those works that are behind us, that's when it's going to be, we're going to be given the credit for that. Not before. Not, okay, you did all these works and then 6 months, a year before the Lord comes, you stop. You ain't going to get none of that. I don't give a damn how eloquent you were, or how great you were, if sparks shot out flames out of your ears and out of your mouth when you spoke. You had the people captivated. That don't mean shit if you don't finish, if you don't cross that finish line. So let's go back to Matthew. I'm sorry. Yeah, Matthew 7:22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy names have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. See? Now, let's go to Luke 12. Let's finish out there in 45. And if that servant say in his heart, that's dealing with these slothful servants, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servant and the maidens, and to eat and drink, and to be drunken. Right, you ain't doing the work no more. You're just doing whatever the hell you want. The Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in sunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. Yeah, you're going to be either hit with a laser, or the fire from the missiles going to burn your ass up, or you're going to die of starvation during the time of Jacob's trouble, or you're going to, be shot by whatever military group or police force the Lord's going to have out there, or beasts are going to tear you limb from limb out there, in the woods when you try to run. It says, and that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. Because you knew better. A person out there that don't know any better, they're going to be destroyed, but you're going to be destroyed worse because you knew better. And you could have done better. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes, for unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall much be required. And once you come into this thing, your mind is open to a whole world that you never knew existed, to the kingdom of heaven, that heavenly, gift. And for you to turn back, that's punishable by death. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. And that's pretty much, you if you know and don't do, you're gonna get it. And you're gonna get it. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. This has been Spectator. So spectators, if you're a spectator, pray to the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to take that demon off you. And get in the fray, do what you're supposed to do, get involved, do the work. If you're slacking, get involved, do the work, keep on pushing, and just keep on, whatever gift the Lord gave you in whatever capacity, keep on doing that. Because this devil is almost out of here. Shalom.